Hello from Doha Hamad International Airport. I'm just outside the first and business class check-in. I'm heading through for my Qatar Airways flight to London Heathrow this afternoon in the Q suites on an Airbus A350-1000. So if you'd like to join me to have a look at the Qatar Airways product on a flight to London, you're in the right place.
Traveling the world on planes, trains, trams, and more. Join Mark Hopwood as he shows you some of the great journeys he's made. Let's travel to a whole variety of destinations. Remember to drop your comment below, like and subscribe, turn on the notification button, and never miss a video.
Welcome to Qatar, to the city of Doha, and this is the Lewis light rail, brand new and opened. I've just alighted in the heat at Lusail Stadium Station. I've stopped overnight in Doha, enjoyed a pleasant stay in a hotel, and I was using the morning of this trip to have a look around the rail, the light rail network. Here's the Mourjan tram in downtown, a small tiny little network serving the new Mourjan development. 3 hydrogen vehicles imported from California. But soon I was in my Uber on my way to Hamad International Airport to get on my flight, my Qatar Airways Airbus A350 back to London Heathrow. An afternoon flight, and I went through that first and business class check-in that you saw in my introduction into the very large terminal. You can see it's very quiet. A lot of passengers here are connecting, they're interchanging. They don't start their journeys in Doha, and actually a 16:45 flight is not a popular time to travel. Strangely, you might think it's a very sociable time, but look, here's the Mourjan Business Class check-in. On the other side was the first class, the Al Safwa facility, the same name as the lounge. Check my flight there, 16:45 QR5. Look at this, completely deserted, very, very quiet indeed. So those great facilities all to myself, and I was then proceeding through this area, through security, out the other side and into the great terminal that is the Hamad International Airport in Doha.
So there's certain classic images that you think of when you think of Doha Airport, Doha Hamad International Airport. One of them is the yellow teddy bear that's behind me. Now, you might think if it's a teddy bear, it's soft and fluffy. It's not. It's slightly disappointing in that respect. It's hard and ceramic with a tough surface, but that's the teddy bear. So let's have a look at the Mourjan Business Class Lounge here at Doha. So I'm going to head up the escalators to the entrance to the Mourjan Lounge. There's 2 Mourjan Lounges. This, the original facility from when the airport opened at the end of the last decade, and a more recently opened facility, the Mourjan Garden Lounge, which is at the other end of the pier. I settled down here, very comfortable seat in the dining area. I put my jacket on the seat, and the staff rushed over to immediately bring me a sort of hanger on a stick, and I ordered my food, a lobster bisque soup to start with, drinks and water, followed by steak. An amazing menu really for what would you probably just be served snacks in many other lounges, or food from a buffet. Freshly cooked steak for my lunch, followed by some dessert and a coffee. So I was very well looked after, very attentive staff, and it gave me time, once I'd eaten my lunch, to explore the lounge. And I probably wandered round a lot more than I would have done if I'd have just been a normal passenger. I wanted to get some footage for this video of the buffet, the coffee, the tea serving area, the juices, the drinks. They do serve alcohol in this lounge, but it's not as prominent perhaps as in Western lounges. And I think the thing that strikes you most about this lounge is just the space. Everything is very spread out. The ceilings are exceptionally high, and compared to, say, the British Airways lounges in London Heathrow, there's just a lot more space. And even when they're busy, these lounges absorb quite large numbers of people and still give you that feeling that you've got space, that you're not tripping over people. And you can see I wasn't the only person in the lounge, although quite a few of the people that you see wandering around the Al Mourjan Lounge this afternoon were in fact staff, colleagues who were there to serve the food and drink and to look after us, to clean the facilities. Hello from the Al Mourjan Lounge here at Doha. Well, I'm all set, got my boarding card, and I'm all ready to go on this Qatar Airways flight. It's the last flight of the day, 16:45 London Heathrow. The aircraft type has changed from a 51,000, which is quite interesting, over a sort of 9-month period since I originally booked the flight. Anyway, those concerns I had about the lounge being busy, completely unfounded. It's absolutely dead here, partly because we're not in the key interchange period for the 16:45 flight. So I'll see you on board the plane. That gentleman, very worried that he was disturbing my filming. Staff in many lounges would be pointing a finger telling you not to film. They're all amazingly helpful, very cooperative, no problems. Although I know other colleagues on YouTube have had one or two issues with Qatar and filming. Well, I took the escalators up in order to board the transit. I was only heading to Charlie 10C10, but I fancied a ride on the transit, just one stop. The other thing that is quite interesting, you'll see from my footage, I was not the only person that afternoon filming my journey. There you go, look, filming my experience. Quite a lot of people just fascinated by the airport, by the airline, by the whole experience, and they were filming their journeys as well. So really no problem doing that. I managed to jump onto the transit, take one of those seats towards the front for my bag actually, and then stand up and enjoy the journey down to the next stop on the transit. Quite a fast journey and quite a nice experience. This, of course, runs inside the terminal. Quite difficult to get your head around that. But it's a fast journey down to the gate, and as I got to the gate, they were getting ready to board the aircraft, ready to board the Airbus A350-1000 for the flight across to London Heathrow. There's my gate C10 or Charlie 10, if that's how you prefer to refer to it. Quite a queue, a lot of economy class customers on this aircraft, a lot of them of course interchanging. I didn't wait long, and there's two doors, two piers connected to the aircraft, one for the economy cabin and one that's labelled first and business class, although of course on this aircraft there is no first class, so it's the business class customers travelling in the Qatar Airways queue suites who are going to use this entrance. And a few people in front of me, but it didn't take too long to get down in through the doorway and to get settled into my seat, a rear facing seat, seat 3A for Alpha, the standard the standard lime and mint drink there with a face towel as well to welcome me. So this is a flight from Doha in Qatar across to London Heathrow, about 6 hours 40 minutes, and I'm just going to take you through a few vital statistics and a few vital details about this flight. QR5 from the Middle East across Turkey and then Eastern Europe, across Central Europe and towards London Heathrow, and just talk about the Qatar Airways flight. It was back in May 2024, an Airbus A350 with two Rolls-Royce Trent XWB-97 engines. Alpha 7, Alpha November India was the aircraft. We were in the air and flying for 7 hours and 9 minutes, in fact, 3,257 miles. That's a seat map of the Qatar Airways Airbus A350. Two different layouts. This one has slightly more business class, but only two classes of travel. And there I am, seat 3A, seat 3A for me on this journey. So our departure from Qatar, we taxied out and then headed south 180-degree turn out over the city, and then over the Gulf and across Iraq, and then flying over Turkey, Bulgaria, Romania, across the Czech Republic, Germany, the south part of the Netherlands, out over the North Sea, and then across over the UK. I'll talk about the arrival in more detail at London Heathrow, but I'll show you now the aircraft taxiing out to the runway at Doha, ready for our departure. It's a fine aircraft, the Airbus A350-1000, all of them fitted at the moment with Rolls-Royce engines, and we're just turning onto the runway now for our departure from Doha. Airborne out of Doha, Hamad, on our way to London Heathrow on the Qatar A350. Let's have a look at the menu. There you go, you can see that soup, meze or tuna tatiki to start. Main courses, Angus beef, lobster, chicken breast with a pumpkin and ricotta mezzalune. Cheese course, some desserts, and 3 light meals to choose from as well. The wine list is coming up. Quite an extensive selection of alcohol, actually, for a Middle Eastern airline. They have 2 champagnes, Chardonnay, a Sauvignon Blanc. Discovery is from a rosé from France, and then on the reds a Bordeaux, a Shiraz, and a French red Moulin Vent. And a dessert wine, a port, and a variety of cocktails and spirits. So I helped myself to a champagne, a rosé champagne to get going. That is my seat on the Qatar A350 3A for Alpha, and I was settled in for my meal, which was served a little after departure. I asked them to delay it slightly, and that's the amuse bouche, which was a single prawn served with some bread. I apologise if you don't like watching people eating, but I think it's part of the experience. You can see me ordering a glass of wine to accompany my meal as they set the table for my starter. And I chose, as you do when you fly out of Doha, the Arabic meze, and I really enjoyed that. Actually, it's something that Qatar do very well indeed, and I'd certainly recommend it to you if you're in business class with Qatar. So there you go, better view with the bread, the butter, and the oil. That is a mix of pesto hummus, labna tahini, and avocado mumamara. And then after I'd had that, my main course was the lobster murabayan, which was served with basmati rice and preserved lemon and dried cranberries. Lobster on a plane is not something you get a chance to eat every day, but it was certainly a great meal, and Qatar generally serve very good food. Occasionally they let themselves down, but I enjoyed the meal. Keeping an eye as we head out over Iraq and Baghdad as the food is served, and I thought after all that lot I'd stick with the healthy option, the seasonal fruit platter, for my dessert.
So 1 hour 34 minutes to go on the flight. We're currently cruising at 40,000 feet, just passed from Slovakia into the Czech Republic. Sorry about the lighting, you can see it's dark outside and the cabin lights are off. Well, I thought I'd just talk a little bit about the catering arrangements on this flight from Doha to London. I showed you the menu earlier on. Last time I reviewed Qatar Airways on a morning flight from Heathrow to Doha, one of the viewers of the video commented about having 2 meals. Now that person was Matt from Matt's Planet, and you can link to his YouTube site here. But Matt sounded surprised that I'd had 2 meals. So interestingly, I've been to talk to the crew about this evening's flight, and they said, oh no, we only serve 1 meal, but there are some snacks, quite substantial snacks. So I've ordered the pasta, but I walked down to the galley to have that conversation with them, and they freely admitted if I hadn't have said anything, nothing else would have been served to me.
So just to reiterate that rather important point, this is shown in the menu as a light meal, but it's only available if you ask the crew to bring it to you. They won't come and offer it. At least that's how it worked on this evening flight QR5. That was the braised beef short ribs with truffle gnocchi, parmesan, and then toasted garlic bread on the side. And I have to say, it was absolutely delicious. The short rib just fell apart, melted in my mouth. The gnocchi was really tasty. But soon it was time for our arrival into London Heathrow, heading out over Essex, over North London, and then into London Heathrow for a 09 left arrival, and then a taxi across the airport over to Terminal 4. And of course it was getting dark, pretty much was dark in London, so an arrival in the dark. Apologies for the flashing lights from my camera, I'm still getting used to that, but you can see here we were approaching London Heathrow from the west. We'd flown over Windsor and just making our final approach over the M25 very shortly, which you can just see there, and then into London Heathrow on that runway 09 left. We actually rolled down the runway and then taxied across the airport at the east end.
and welcome to London, United Kingdom. The local time here is 9:50 p.m. For your safety, please remain seated with your
I was a very lucky person when I got off that flight, because I arrived on the day in May 2024 when they'd had a complete crash of the passport e-gates at London Heathrow, which led to quite a lot of disruption and chaos. But we were the only flight arriving in Heathrow's Terminal 4 for the hour in the lead up to that event. And that meant, as a business class passenger, I just got straight off the flight and straight through passport. The immigration officer said to me, "You are the luckiest person in Heathrow Airport, Mr. Hopwood, because if you just turn around, there are 4 buses arriving full of Terminal 5 passengers that we've brought here to process through immigration." And I was literally, 90 seconds ahead of them. So I was straight out of the airport and into my public transport. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to catching up with you very soon.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and click the notification button so you don't miss any of the great trips Mark has coming your way on this YouTube channel.